And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Oh, where did I go? Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second broadcast of the day. Welcome back to Firegrow Cup number 5. Welcome to the playoffs. Oh boy, it's been an intense weekend, a very intense weekend of StarCraft, of Firegrow Cup, of a Labor League, of many other events as well. Masters Coliseum, of course, alongside all of that. And we are the MC show match to start it all off. And now we're here. Now we are back. Now we are live and ready to crown our champion. Oh, let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss representing Hazard Esports. It is Power. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player. It is the reigning champion of Firegrow Cup number 4. It is YoungYakov. Here we go. Oh my god. Here we go. We are going to be settling in and embracing our new series, our new tournament. Let's go. We just wrapped up, of course, with Master Coliseum. Number 8, the Group B. We did just wrap it up, and now we're here with our second broadcast of the day. So again, the StarCraft does not end. Fun fact, it is right after this event that I am gonna be traveling, of course. I'm gonna be right, like, as soon as we finish casting, we're gonna just hop on, gonna take off and make our way to the outback, if you will, for the holidays. So unfortunately, this is going to be our last stream, our last cast for the next 2 days. As for New Year's Eve, for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, I will otherwise be unavailable. I'll be back on Boxing Day though, 26th of December is when we're going to be back at casting and catching up on events that we did miss out on. But leading up to that, we will not be able to cover some tournaments live, specifically Wardy TV Monday and the Pegasaur Monday. Those are the 2 events that we're going to be missing out on this week, unfortunately. But we can catch up on Pegasaur Monday. Pegasaur Monday, we can catch up with replays. Wardy TV Monday, less so. We unfortunately won't have replays for that. We won't have replays available for that event. We'll have it for the other. So eventually we'll catch up on most of what we missed out on one of them. On one of the 2. But for now, we're focusing, of course, on our first matchup here. Power, of course, did do very well in the group stage to make it out of the group stage and into the playoffs, but he's up against the reigning champion. The reigning champion, and YoungYakov, he's favored to win the entire tournament once again. We'll see if he can be stopped. We'll see if anyone can slow down the Yakov that is Young. Oh boy. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. It's Gamba time. Oh, of course. Of the... As here we go. We are going to be settling in. We do our adept at getting across the map, threatening a shade. And so far, YoungYakov does wall off well. Goes to the Evo wall. Lings and Queens make their way in. And the adept is deflected. So far, so good. Just catching up with the chat. When you visit Poland, do you type pierogis? Pierogis. Of course. I was there for the pierogis. They were amazing. They were beautiful. Specifically, I had some. I went to like a specialized pierogi place, and there was like a soup. There was like soup pierogis. Say pierogis. They were good. They're really good. I loved them. They were good. And the episode will be for us back. So far, getting a drone, but not too much more than that. So far, YoungYakov is able to keep up. Behind this, third base is on the way. It's going to Stargate open into Oracle into a third base. So far, standard setup here by Power, but he's moving out across the map to wreak havoc, and it's going to be Oracle into Void Ray. Okay, the goal here is to harass across the map, get some economic damage, but more importantly, to shut down the Overlords and to keep the follow-up hidden. We'll see if Power is planning something a little bit different here and planning to take up in a very, very different direction. My eyes are on Power. Hello, Hatsu. I see Hatsu in the chat. Hi, Stan as well. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Setsuna, Iron Ringed. Those little pierogis. Well, they're still my favorite. even if they technically weren't pierogis, they were amazing. They were beautiful. Beautiful. Now you're making me hungry, Pat. Oh my god. What have you done? Georgian version. Yeah. We had them all. We had them all. And with the arrival of the Void Ray, this is what we were waiting for. We were expecting, typically when you go for a Void Ray opener, not always, but typically it is to hide tech and to hide any kind of crazy transition. And there it is. It is going to be Void Ray into second Stargate, into Fleet Beacon, into Sky Toss. Now, this is something that is usually really risky to embrace, but you can get away with it on some of these more defendable maps. Maps like Neon Violet Square, maps like El Dorado, maps like Abyssal Reef as well. We speak about this all the time on this map. This map is a very large map. Long Rush is my ground. Third, fourth, and fifth base are very secure, very easy to expand, and very easy to defend. So hey, if you can get a free 5-base setup, why not cut corners and rush into Sky Toss? Rush into carrier production. That is the plan here for Power, and this map is ideal for this. But again, it is a very map-dependent kind of style. If you try to do this on a map like Amygdala, you just die. Like you can't get away with this. Sorry, not Amygdala. I was thinking of Whispers of Gold. That's it. On Whispers of Gold, or on Ultra Love, or on Ley Lines, those smaller maps, it's much more difficult to get away with this. Larger maps, easier to get away with. Oh, okay. So it's going to be initially carrier production, but we have a Forged Twilight Council behind this. We are switching into ground toss. There is going to be a commitment into 2 and then 4 and then 6 carriers. That is true, but we're not neglecting the ground-based army here. We're not going for like a third Stargate into like Void Ray production. Overseer Scout is coming in, and YoungYakov does confirm the follow-up. Let's go. Let us go. Come to me. I just made 120 for Chris. Ah, that's a lot. That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. If only. Unfortunately, you know, I'm locked down here in Australia. Very far away. Very far away. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. But enjoy. Sounds like an amazing time. Sounds amazing. As Power is moving out, +1 air attack. We do have charge on the way, so it's going to be a charge lot follow-up here, alongside all of the Sky Toss. YoungYakov trying to counterattack. Did scout what was going on, does hit the third, and Lings a bust on in. They get us around here on the shield battery. Shield battery gets surrounded. Roach is waddling in as well. Probe should be going down. Ooh, oh my god. Yeah, getting up to 5, 6+ worker kills. Very nice damage. At the same time, carries they move out, but the Queens they keep up. The Queens they defend. The Queens do defend. The Spire did finish, did survive. 9 Corruptors are on the way, and that's 11 probe kills so far. A good start for YoungYakov. He cripples the economy, and he maintains himself back at home, and he has survived until Sky Toss. He's made it. He's lived. He's survived. Whew. Let's go. Here we go. So far, Power, he is building up. Shuts down the Overseers. Did at least preserve his carriers. Checking the unit slot stat here, not a single carrier has gone down yet. So he's just massing up his death wall of an army. YoungYakov looking for a way in. He shouldn't be... Oh, he might be able to catch one of these carriers, actually. Oh, he wants it. He gets it. One shot. Takes down the low HP carrier, going for the other. Bold move, and he will get one. He will get 2 carriers before pulling away. 2 carriers for how many? 4 Corruptors. Better trade for YoungYakov. Very nicely done. Back at home, building up his Ling Roach Ravager. Ravagers are a good supportive unit for this. And again, you cannot neglect your ground army just because, I mean, there's still plenty on the ground here. Corruptors and charge lots. Sorry, Zealots and charge lots. Archons and charge. There we go. As they are building up. Power is soon going to be breaking out. Now, I don't think I like the idea of Power pushing right now. YoungYakov is about to max. But the idea of just securing his position, getting a 4th base, getting a 5th base, and maxing, that's a more likely proposition here for Power. Meanwhile, YoungYakov investing into a handful of mutas. I don't think this is intentional. It is how many? Only 4. 4 mutas, that's not even enough to one-shot probes. So I don't think this was necessarily intentional here. He can try to harass, but the likelihood of getting damage done with this is quite low. We got 5th meter on the way. Corruptors breaking in. They get the Void Ray. Void Ray goes down. Ling Roach Ravager building up. Mutas, they hit the natural. I mean, hey, they're gonna get some probes. Takes some time, but they got 5 probes. Not bad. 7 probes even. 7 workers going down. Damage is done. Shout out to those 4 mutas. And here comes the main army. And YoungYakov, ideally, he wants to trade. And he did lose all his corruptors, but, I mean, he trades. He trades, he backs off, he rebuilds. And Power cannot push. That's a fullback. Get his fourth base. Mutas, they come back in. 13, 14 probe kills. Very nice damage here. Again, with the bare minimum of Mutas. Being 17 workers. As the site defense is late. Yeah, late site defense getting up to 20. 21. 20. Can we... Oh my god, this is getting out of hand. Can we get up to 30? 26. Ah, he's getting there. 4 more. Rotates over. Pivots back around. Going back into the main. And he wants those gas mining workers. 27. 28. 2 more. 28 probes. Rotates back around. Up. 20. Almost 29. Almost. Ah, not quite. Not quite. Corruptors, they dive in. They get 1. They get 2 carriers. There's 1 carrier left. They're going to focus it down as well. Yeah, the final carrier will fall. And here comes the main army. Yeah, the probes, they do go down. Banelings, they crash on in. And Power, he was just unable to fortify himself. Unable to build up. The Mutas tore him apart. And the Ling run by as well. Very successful. Very successful Ling run by. Very successful Muta harass. Power does have a terrifying army here. How many Archons is this? 8! 8 Archons, a massive amount of Archon charge lots, and he's all in. At this point, Power is completely all in. Natural's going to go down, and it's all or nothing for the Protoss. And we'll see if he can pull this off. We have Roaches amassing as we speak. YoungYakov is rebuilding. Yeah, as I'll say, do actually file in towards the main. Power. Stutter stepping forward. Pushing into the natural. Bailey's going to be rolling in. And actually, Power, he can take this fight. Oh my god. Mutas, they coming from behind, pushing into the Archons. Archons getting picked up one after the other. There's 2 Archons left. 3 Archons left even. And it looks like it's just barely going to be enough. YoungYakov, he will hold. Whew. It was not an easy defense, but he does hold nonetheless. GG gets called, and YoungYakov takes game number 1. Whew. GG. YoungYakov does take a lead in the series. Does take the first game and did successfully punish his opponent. Again, we saw the one of the strengths of this map is to try to tech up and be really defensive. Despite that, though, we saw that YoungYakov, he was able to pull off Ling run-bys and the Muta harass as well. Honestly, the Muta harass was kind of the nail in the coffin there. Got so much damage, just under 30 worker kills at the natural in the main. It was insane how much damage those Mutas dealt. Likewise, the Ling run-by as well, and the lead up to it also very successful. Did lead into the game state that we saw. Did lead into, alas, unfortunately, Power could not maintain those losses and afford an expensive army. It was torn apart. GG. GG, well played. Not easy, not an easy thing to accomplish whatsoever from the side of YoungYakov, so very impressive. And we'll see what the plan is going to be here as we load into ley lines. Now, we're loading into a much smaller map, so I do not expect the same style out of Power. I do not expect a rush into Skytoss. I expect something very different. I expect to see something more standard or something more mid-game oriented instead. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the red Protoss player representing Hazard Esports down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Power. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg leading the series 1-0, the reigning champion, of course, of Fire Cup number 4. It is YoungYakov. We go. Season people asking about Skilless. If I would imagine maybe he's not really interested in competing in the event if he's not here. I would imagine he can if he so chose to. If he so chose to. For now, hatch gas pool. For now, standard opener out of YoungYakov. Likewise, we do have Power settling in as well, going for his own gate expand. is going for his own setup. And really, my eyes are going to be on Power when it comes to the mid game. When it comes to what does transpire after the initial openers, after the Stargate, do we go for another Void Ray? Now, after game 1, I do want to, I would not be opposed to another Void Ray opener, but to a different kind of variation here. Void Ray opener into maybe Glaive Adepts, Void Ray opener into Fast Blink. There are options here for Power. He doesn't have to go into a second Stargate and into Sky Toss again. He can try to vary it up and try to pull one over on YoungYakov. Oh my god. As Power, oh, he wants the drone. He wants it. What am I? So close. Risky, pappy. Alas, the probe does back off, and YoungYakov does survive, does defend. Doesn't bleed out any additional workers. Meanwhile, Twilight Council open out of Power. So I assumed it was going to be something more mid-game oriented. This is even earlier than that. So Twilight Council here from Power. Do we go Glaives? Do we go DTs? Those are the two most common options here for Power, which we'll see which one he goes into. So far, he has not pulled out a gas yet, but he has time. He has time to pull out. Going for another gateway. Hasn't pulled out. Show us the Dark Shrine. Show us the DTs. Does look like a DT-based opener instead, as he's staying 3 and 3 in gas. With the excess gas, does mean something more tech heavy. As the Adept is zoned away. And Power is waiting for that gas. There we go, throwing down extra gateways. Getting his 4 gate setup, and there it is. There's the Dark Shrine. As you mentioned, because we have 3 and 3 in gas, it means DTs have to be, it's like the only option basically. It was either DTs or a 6 gate Glaive Adept 2 base all in, which would be like the other option, which is very niche. it's like a rarely seen build, and even that has like DTs alongside it as well because it's an all in. So with this is designed to be an economic opener. The goal here, I mean, I say economic opener, is designed to get you into the mid game. With this, we can harass with Dark Templar, we can harass with Archons. The Forge is an interesting one though. Very fast Forge here out of Power. That is catching me off guard. Stalker goes out. Nice pick up here by YoungYakov. Likewise, he does scout the Forge. Is where that something is amiss. So far does hold for now. Fast +1. Now to me, in my mind, to rush into +1 like this, it looks like initially a standard, you know, DT opener harassing into Archon drop. With +1, this looks like a charge follow-up. This looks like a 2 base all in, assuming that there's no third. So far there is none, and we'll see if we ever get one. DT's ate the 3rd base. Oh, the Spore goes down. Massive pickup. Spore does fall. 3rd base under fire, shaving off more Lings. Going for the queens as well. And he will get 1 queen. 1 queen goes down. Spore does attempt to reposition. Oh no, the Spore! Spore attempts to reposition. Alas, is denied. DTs, they won't be able to quite get on top of it though. The Spore does borrow. Oof. And the DTs are deflected. And yep, there it is, 2 base all in. Charge, Immortal Production. Do we see a 3rd? No, there is no 3rd base. No 3rd base, so it's going to be a 2 base all in. Extra gateways on the way, and it's all or nothing for Power. One way or another, the game is about to end. As he's, Jesus, that's a lot of gateways. As he throws down a massive wall of gates. Lings, they don't quite, they get a little bit of vision here. They see extra gateways. That is a sign. That is a tell. Likewise, no 3rd base either, and YoungYakov, this is what he sees. He is piecing it all together. Cybercore is going to go down, Roach production has begun, Lair is on the way, extra gases are being taken, and YoungYakov, as long as he doesn't overdrone, he should be fine. Jesus, that is a 6-gate explosion. Getting up to 9 gates on 2 bases. Meanwhile, Lings are breaking through. They break in, they're going for the sentry. Nice force field. Force field does save the sentry. The immortal is under threat. Second force field saves the immortal. Zelts are revealed, and power defense. At the same time, roaches, they defend back at home. They deflect the archons. Power is forced back. Is going to be forced back. And power, he's just gearing up and getting ready for that eventual all-in. It's coming. It is coming. Back at home, we're on 51 drones. I do think we can afford to drone up to like 55. Like, I think 55 workers is an okay worker count to stop at. But then it's just purely Roach Ravager. Purely Ling Roach Ravager. The army gets spotted. Roaches are amassing. Spine crawlers and spores are on the way to wall up, to wall off. YoungYakov taking this very seriously. We can see the power is going for a delayed third, but this third should just be for sure. Like, there's no way you can try to macro out of this. Like, his goal here should be to end the game, as it is such a late third base. Lings, they attempt to scout. Here we go. He's getting ready. Alright, just my bad. Someone in the chat asked how many gateways. We already did mention it was 9. I had to type it. Happens to coincide with the intro hotkey. And here we go. Here we go. Power is moving out. It's all or nothing. We'll see if YoungYakov can hold. I mean, again, he's had plenty of time. He's had plenty of time. He joined up to 58. That is just under 3 base saturation. Just under 3 bases. Baneling's morphing in as well. If we do have 4 immortals, though, I mean, it's a pretty terrifying army. It's pretty terrifying. Some of the Banelings are being denied. But it just feels like it's taken too long. It's just taken far too long here to get across the map. As Biles, they do connect. Yeah, the Biles connect, they take down the sentries. No more force fields. There's just 1 sentry left. Nice spread here from YoungYakov. He pulls away. Zelsa getting some of the Ravagers. Ravagers are going down. And at power, he's breaking through at the same time, though. The Immortals are exposed. Breaks through on the left, on the right. The Roaches are getting some of the Immortals. Only 3 Immortals left. It's so close. It is so close, and power has he done it. He's going for the Roach Warren. Up. Roach Warren goes down. He's still got 3 immortals. But if the longer this goes on, the better it is for YoungYakov. There's 17 roaches on the way. DT's waddling in. I appreciate that. DT's, they get involved. The immortals are exposed. And they're going to go down. 2 immortals fall. Late pick up micro there out of power. If it wasn't for that, he could have still pulled this off. And he still will. GG gets called, and power, he overwhelms, and he takes game number 2. GG. GG, well played. We are going to the ace match. And again, there were some people, I think last broadcast, talking about like, were like Immortals nerfed too much. From what we have all seen, especially if you have been watching the PTR and even post PTR, Immortal-based aggression and Immortal-based all-ins weren't actually impacted too hard by the nerf. So that does kind of, it is kind of weird, because it's like, what was the purpose of the nerf? Because if the purpose was to try and deter and try to take power away from the Immortal in this matchup, it was unsuccessful in doing so. So it's like what was the purpose of this? Which was the biggest criticism of that, is that it doesn't achieve too much there. But regardless, GG, well played. Despite the fact that this was a delayed all-in, and it was delayed, despite that, power was able to break on through. I do think that the execution was a little bit shaky, and I would have loved to have seen the DTs behind the army to be able to deny any kind of surround and any kind of reinforcements coming in from behind. But regardless, did break the back of YoungYakov nonetheless. Sniping the Roach Warren was brutal. It meant that there were no more roaches to defend, only Lings, and the Lings that were melting against the Zealots and the Archons as well. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're getting into the ace match. And honestly, we're getting close to a world where is the reigning champion going to go down in the first round? Does he go down in the quarterfinals? That would be crazy. But, I mean, Power, he's one game away from pulling that off. It's possible. It is possible. Let's go. We'll see if he can bring it home and bring down YoungYakov. We'll see. As we're getting into the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. Does Spore reveal Dark Templar while it moves? It does not. It does not. As is being stated in the chat, a Spore needs to root. It needs to actually burrow and like stand its ground to be able to detect. It'd be crazy if it didn't have to. Like that'd be that'd be wild if they can just like waddle around as mobile detection. That'd be oh my god. Not like this. But regardless, we're getting into our next game. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Frostline, we have our red Protoss player. Tying up the series 1-1, forcing the ace match. Can he take the series? Representing Hazard Esports, it is Power. And in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player. The blue Zerg being forced into Game 3. The reigning champion, he should be favored to have a deep run in the playoffs, but we'll see. We'll see if he can. It is YoungYakov. Do people usually stop at 8? Yes, yes. When it comes to 3-base all-ins, it's usually 8 stalkers. But that's usually okay. I should say a 3-base economy can facilitate 8-gate stalker-based all-ins. When it comes to charge lots to reinforce, I think you can get away with more gateways on less bases. But I think you're correct in saying that 8 is usually the standard for that kind of 2-base all-in. Yo, we needed that one extra gateway. Okay, we needed that one extra zealot. Yeah, and did break through. I think it does take away significant power from Immortal versus Lurker or more late games or compositions. The problem is that we haven't seen that play out in late game ZvP, at least from all the games that we've casted on the channel. It's still very potent. So if we see that plan out in games, then we can corroborate, but that has yet to occur. As for now, we're settling in. So now we do have YoungYakov taking his third. Is getting his third base up and running. And really, just like the previous game, my eyes are on Power here to see what tech he goes for. Game 1, he went for a Skytoss rush. Game 2, went into a 2-base all-in. Game 3, what's it gonna be? Now, we're getting into Frostline here. We're loading into a much larger map in the map pool. And we'll see if Power does end up going for something more macro-oriented. What I should emphasize, this map is large, that is true, but the bases are very isolated. The third and fourth base are very isolated from each other. They're very exposed. So because of that, we have seen a lot of aggression be quite successful on Frostline. Quite successful here. So it goes both ways. We could see Power likewise be aggressive himself. We'll see if YoungYakov is. As for now, YoungYakov is going to back off. But yeah, basically what I'm getting at, from what we've seen, from all the games that we have experienced so far in the PTR and on the new patch, if the Immortal had been reverted to the previous version, I don't think it would have changed any outcomes of any of the games. Like which is why it's like, it was a really weird change, I feel. Because I feel like if the purpose was to take away power of the Immortal in like late game compositions, I don't think it was too successful in that. Which is why it was a weird one. But maybe we just haven't seen enough games. It's possible. As Lings, they poke in. They will be able to surround and shut down the Adept. Adept is going to go down behind this extra gateways. Okay, we're going through for extra gateways. No tech. Okay. This is a really weird opener here out of Power. So a couple things just happened. One, the tech is really late. The Twilight Council and Forge, usually they're thrown down before the third base is done, but they're thrown down after it's done in favor of extra gateways. With this, I would expect to see maybe more Adept aggression early on. Yeah, I'm a little bit perplexed here with the purpose of the extra gates and of the blade tech. We'll see. As Power is going to move out. Do have our +1 on the way. Things once again, they get into the mineral line. No shield battery set up here either. Bear that in mind. Hopefully we get one soon. As Power does move out. Behind this, +1 melee is on the way. Is the sign, of course, it's going to be Ling Hydra out of YoungYakov. Getting into Ling Hydra. And this can lead into Hive and in towards Lurker tech. As I say that though, usually we would already see an Infestation Bit if the purpose was to rush into Lurkers. So it looks like for now, just pure Ling Hydra out of YoungYakov. Is being very active on the map. Behind this, Power, he's stuck at home. Without Blink, he doesn't really have any map presence, so he's going to be stuck at home for the time being. Working towards +1 shields. Double forge into +1 shields. Okay. Power, you have my attention. You do have my attention here. But again, the downside of how late these upgrades are is that he's stuck at home. Power, he's stuck at home. He's relinquishing map control to his opponents. YoungYakov, he has free reign. There it is, Infestation Bit. This is the first sign of Lurker tech. Infestation Bit into Hive, into Lurkers. And Power stuck at home. He's stuck at home. Templar Archives on the way. That's going to be for Storm. YoungYakov, he has map control. He can deny the 4th base. And we spoke earlier how difficult it can be to hold on to a 4th on this map, and we'll see if Power can do so. He's being spread quite thin. As he moves out, Lings move in. They move in, they take a stasis to the face. Power turning back around. Oh, and probes are going down. And with this so far, quite a successful attack by YoungYakov. He shouldn't be able to break through. He does take down one of the Oracles. Power should be able to hold. But does lose 8 workers here. At least they get on top of the Stalker. No, the Stalkers. Some of the Stalkers going to be going down. Power will hold. YoungYakov, he backs off. Behind this, Lurkers. Lurker Den is on the way. Hive is on the way. I feel like Power needs to counterattack here and now. But he doesn't have charge. Charge is still on the way, so he doesn't really have much pushing power either. So Power, he's stuck. What's important? No 4th. Still no 4th base. And YoungYakov, he can drone. From here, he can freely drone up. I do think that YoungYakov overextended. I think he did bleed out a lot of Hydras here across the map. Stalkers are moving out. Zealots have to stay back. And the Stalkers, they can poke in. And again, Power, he needs to try to get the space up and running. Lings are on the way to deny the 4th. Stalkers getting caught out. 4th base is on the way. YoungYakov does confirm. He is aware of the 4th location. From here, YoungYakov, he can rotate. We'll see what the plan is going to be here. The Hive is done. Lurker upgrades are on the way. YoungYakov still maintains map control. Lurkers are morphing in. And this is going to be a brutal timing here. Now, thankfully, Storm is done. So there is going to be Storm available here for Power. And he already has High Templar pre-morphed in. So with this kind of composition, he can hold his own. What I'm most concerned by isn't necessarily YoungYakov pushing and killing Power. It's pushing and denying the 4th. So we'll see how YoungYakov does piece this all together, how he spreads out his army, and how he does push in. As YoungYakov, he's embracing that Hive tech. Observer does get eyes on the Lings. Power is in position. His main army is here at the 4th. His 3rd base is more exposed, but we have some side defense. We have shield battery, cannon, stasis trap. So far, Power is holding his own. And we're still waiting for the lurker count to build up. Now, we were speaking earlier about the Immortal, and currently the Immortal count is very low, and Immortals are going to be very necessary here to try to deal with these lurkers, and here they come. Lurkers are moving out. Main army pushes on the south side. YoungYakov, he responds. Doesn't keep pushing. He falls back home. So far, a good fake out here by Power. Otherwise, his northern base would be very, very much so in danger. Power pushing through the center. Both armies are keeping up with each other. Both armies are maxing out. Prism is denied into the main. Fourth base is fully operational. And this is just, like, sometimes a good defense is a good offense. Here, Power, he's posturing. He's posturing in the center of the map, which means that YoungYakov, he cannot push out. He cannot counterattack. He's stuck at home. He has to respect this army. So YoungYakov, he has to defend, which means Power expands. He gets away with the expansion. And right now, Power should not be committing. He should not be pushing into these lurkers as he's building up the Immortal count. And he needs a higher Immortal count here. So he has to build up those Immortals. He needs to buy time. Potentially catching out some lurkers. Oops. But again, just poking. Just poking, just prodding. Kind of like just puffing up his chest. And forcing YoungYakov to be defensive. Both players are maxing out. Now, Power, he doesn't really have the most ideal army. A lot of the supply for Power are in Zealots. There's a lot of Zealots here. It's Zealot Archon, a handful of Immortals. Oh my god. Gasito. That was close. Stasis goes off, gets a lurker. Both armies are maxed. Power needs to trade. Power, he's maxed. He has to bleed out some of this Gateway army, and he needs to build up more Immortals and get ready for Skytoss. Speaking of Skytoss, Spire's already on the way. Spire and a Nidus Worm. But we're keeping up with each other. Yakov rotating on the right-hand side. He is spotted. Power collapsing in from multiple angles. The Hydra's getting caught out. She'll wear the storms. Yeah, massive storms on the Hydras. Then we get a full surround. Oh my god. And YoungYakov, he'll lose everything. Everything goes down. Everything melts. And now it's time to counterattack. Send it. Send it, Papi. Send it. Now it's time to counterattack. YoungYakov, he's in a world of hurt. He's racing back home. How many lurkers are left? 6. Only 6 lurkers. That is not going to be enough. That is not good enough here. As Power's pushing it. Oh my god. He has to take care, though. Has to respect at least the first line of defense. Rotates over. Lurkers are trying to keep up. Does catch the Hydras. Hydras almost get caught out. And the northern base is isolated. A nice movement here by Power. Where are the storms? There are none. Ooh, no storms, by the way. Hydras are going to get surrounded. No storms are available. That's a little bit scary. But the lurkers are exposed. The lurkers are completely exposed. With detection, they should go down. Where's the detection? No! Where's the detection? As lurkers, they barely hold on. Another base goes down. 21 workers as well. And Power, he's in full control. Takes down a base, takes down a mineral line, takes down all the Hydras. Lurkers are barely holding their own. Observers on the way. We need detection. Honestly, if there was an observer there, YoungYakov loses. He would have died. He would have died then and there. All these lurkers, they just finished morphing in. There were 3 lurkers to defend. Whether it was an observer or a revelation, at the time there was no revelation either. Nidus into the main. Power, he has no vision. Oh, he has no vision. And that's a lot of lurkers. YoungYakov is going for a Hail Mary play. He's going to try to force a base trade. Or a recall. Nidus finishes. There's nothing at home to defend this expansion. Lurkers 8 bust in. What do we do? Power, does he recall? The base is going to fall. He's going for the 3rd. The 4th even. Got some lurkers back at home. Lurkers are trying to race back. This time the observer is here. There is detection. Immortals pushing in. Where are the storms? Oh, there they are. The storms, they were a little bit late. Storms were late, but Power, he overwhelms. He overwhelms the army. He breaks on through once again. Takes down all the lurkers. And YoungYakov, the Nidus goes down. He cannot race back home. He's stuck in the main. And Power, he's done it. At this point, he has done it. He has broken the main army. He's broken the expansions, broken the bases. And even though YoungYakov was the reigning champion, or he is the reigning champion, I should say, of Fire Cup number 4, and it was looking very strong in the group stage, here in this best of 3, he is struggling. The lurkers, they're now getting into the natural. I mean, they're doing damage, don't get me wrong. But the economy, it's non-existent here. As YoungYakov, he's stuck on one base, he's stuck on one mineral patch. And YoungYakov should lose every expansion. GG gets called, and Power, he will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the semifinals. GG. Whew. GG, well played, Power. He will take the series, will advance on. Congratulations. My condolences to YoungYakov. Coming into this, YoungYakov was a heavy favorite. He was a heavy favorite to even win the entire tournament, but he gets knocked out here and now. Power, he's overwhelming. Power is overwhelming. Again, really good. I want to praise Power's positional play more importantly. Here on, especially on Frostline. We spoke about it. We spoke about how difficult it is to protect the fourth base on Frostline, and I do think that if YoungYakov was more assertive, he would have been successful. But remember, that is why it was important that Power, even though he had no pushing power, even though he had no way to really push into the bases in the mid game, he had no way to really push in and really threaten the economy. He was posturing. He was scaring YoungYakov into being more defensive. He was forcing YoungYakov to stay back at home instead of moving out, which means that Power got away with his fourth. He got his fourth base, which you could argue shouldn't have happened, or you could argue there should have been like a stronger battle to actually maintain the fourth. Didn't happen. The fourth base got up and running almost for free, pappy, because of the positional play. In with that, GG. GG, well played. Power does take it. And here we go. Power does advance on to the semifinals. And the question becomes, who will face off against him? Oh, wait, we already know that. It's going to be Power versus, let me just double check here. Actually, you know what? We can all have a look together on the bracket. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourself.